Hello and welcome to Oh the Horror. I'm Fedora, and today's a very special episode because it's a request by my dear friend, Mr. Bob Show. You can check out his YouTube and Blip accounts here. But honestly, Bob, you might as well have just sent me frickin' Rango. It has just as much to do with the subject matter of the film as this movie does. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about true stories.
Whenever you see this little symbol on the front of a horror movie, it usually means that the killer, or events within the film, are based off of the actions of a real-life serial killer like Jack the Ripper, Ted Bundy, or O.J. Simpson. This movie, though, is based on the Plainfield ghoul himself, Ed Gein. Edward Theodore Gein lived in Plainfield, Wisconsin. He came off as your average Joe Nobody to the citizens, but that all changed when the police discovered that Gein had been digging up corpses from the local graveyard and making things out of the bones and skin, like bowls, lampshades, and even a woman's skin suit. After his arrest, Gein also admitted to the murder of 2 women between 1954 and 1957. After a long stay in a mental institution, he was tried in 1968 and sentenced to life in prison before dying of heart failure in 1984.
The history of Ed Gein is a true horror story inspiring films like Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he even got his own film in 2000. But we're not here to talk about that one. We're here to talk about the 2007 Ed Gein, The Butcher of Plainfield. So let's have a look and see just how much based on a true story can get away with these days.
We start this movie in 1957. Straight away skipping Ed's entire brutal past and jumping all the way to the end.
Well, that was a short movie. See you next time.
So we've got some random teenage girl here who pulls herself off of some rather comfortable looking meat hooks and runs straight into Ed Gein, played in this movie by Kane Hodder, who then just lets her run away. We then zoom over to horror cliche number 530, the lone deputy driving around at night, who then stumbles across an old abandoned bloodstained car and reports it in to his superiors.
I suppose somebody will be making a missing persons report soon enough.
We've got to look for her, sir. She could be out there somewhere still alive.
Don't you be going off half-cocked on me.
Don't you go acting like a police officer, damn it!
The deputy, whose name is Bobby Mason for those keeping score, goes back to his place where he finds his mother, collapsed on the floor. It turns out that she has some sort of brain illness. This is in no doubt reference to Ed Gein's mother who died of a stroke. But this just begs the question, why isn't this happening to Gein? I understand obviously in a regular movie it requires a central protagonist, but this is not a regular movie. It's one that I assumed would show us the true story of Ed Gein. So why do we have this guy taking up all the screen time? Why is Ed killing random people who didn't actually exist in the case files? Who are these people?
Who are these people?
That night, during dinner with his mother and his girlfriend, who just so happens to be the sheriff's daughter...
Oh, by the way, his mother's brain illness? Never mentioned again.
Deputy Bobby can't shake the urge to go looking for the missing girl.
This young girl's missing. Badly injured or dead.
You can't save the world all at once, Bobby. And you can't save it on an empty stomach.
Well, this girl is here with you, right here, right now.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck her, let's go have sex instead. Meanwhile, Ed and his completely fictional minion by the name of Jack are digging up another corpse from the local graveyard. They bag it up, throw it in their truck, and start heading back to the farmhouse, but on the way, Jack expresses concerns over the legalities of what they're doing, and this of course prompts Ed to beat him to death with a shovel.
Wow, his non-existent character had a whole lot of point.
Short but pointless.
He then ties Jack's body to the back of the ute and starts dragging him down the road, making us wonder how the hell this guy has managed to make it all this time without being caught. Even more so when he then drives right past Deputy Bobby's patrol car. Nothing to see here, officer. The confusing mystery of Ed's apparent continuing freedom is pushed a little further that same night when he's caught in the graveyard again, this time with a bag of heads. The night watchman's about to report him, but unfortunately for him, Ed beasts him. The next morning, Ed hits the local diner, where he starts having a hallucination about his mother, who tells him that she wants him to be just like his daddy when he gets bigger. Of course, this is in contrary to real life, where Ed's mother actually deeply despised his drunken father. So as a result of this, Ed starts strangling the bar woman in front of everybody.
Seriously, how has nobody caught this guy yet?
Guy? Cameron, Sue's kissing that man.
That ain't none of our business.
Oh, that's how. They're all idiots.
The next day, the police get a visit from the bar woman's husband, because apparently she's gone missing and he wants them to stop at nothing until they find her.
Okay, also we got a couple that claims that they saw her at the tavern kissing a guy at the bar.
Hey, my wife is not cheating on me.
Sheriff, I think we should get Howard Shaw on the line over at the radio station. Ask him to make an emergency announcement.
See that, Sheriff? That's the kind of action I like to see.
Great job of making me look like a dick, Deputy! But this act of professionalism doesn't last very long for Deputy Bobby, as he's assigned by the sheriff to go check out the diner where the bar woman was abducted, and decides to take 5 minutes to... what else? Make out with his girlfriend at this crime scene.
I love this girl. Whenever he's having any feelings of depression or duty, she's on him like Nicolas Cage on any kind of job offer. That's what you need after a long day at the office.
So how was work today?
Brian broke the print in the office again. Oh!
Well, I suppose, yeah, technically he should be looking for the bar woman who's currently being sliced into ribbons by Ed Gein, but hell, he has more important things to worry about, like having sex with his girlfriend in a field now. Deputy Bobby decides to start acting like a cop again when news comes to him over the radio that apparently his mother's been kidnapped. Hey, control yourself, woman. So he spins around and zooms back to Plainfield. After a quick shot of Ed Gein modelling his infamous skin suit... Oh look, they did do a little bit of research. Round of applause, everybody. We see Deputy Bobby speeding down the dirt road back to town. But he seems to be going a little too fast.
Bobby, stop that car right now!
You got it. After coming to, the first thing Deputy Bobby notices is that his girlfriend has gone missing. He finds her a few feet away from the car with some serious injuries. And with his radio not working, he has no choice but to leave her by the side of the road in order to go find help. He manages to flag down a car driven by... Shaquille O'Neal? And flies back to the crash site. But while he's gone... When Deputy Bobby arrives back at the crash site to find his girlfriend missing, he starts frantically looking around for her. Meanwhile, back at Plainfield, a citizen approaches the sheriff with some rather helpful information.
Well, we all thought that Ed Gein was a strange guy.
Ed Gein? The guy that lives out on the old county road?
Yes, sir. I could swear I saw Mr. Gein driving his car today, and I saw a woman's foot sticking out of the trunk.
Oh, okay. So nobody saw this or this, but a foot sticking out of somebody's trunk, fucking clear as day.
Acting quickly on this conveniently timed tip, the police arrive at Ed's farm and demand his ass to step outside.
Edward Gein! This is the sheriff. Me and the entire Plainfield Sheriff Department are here on official business.
I don't think he's home.
Oh no. He's home. I can smell him.
Smells like that aftershave I bought you for Christmas. Oh, Ed, you big softy.
Through the powers of plot convenience, Deputy Bobby stumbles across the rest of the police and is filled in that Ed Gein might be the man behind all the killings.
Where's my mother?
Well, son, what? It seems that Ed Gein might have taken her.
Don't lose control, son. Remember, protocol.
Erica, she's gone missing too.
What are you telling me? That my little girl has gone missing?
Screw protocol!
After a quick search of the house, the police locate the CG remains of the barwoman as well as the mutilated body of Bobby's mother. And despite the police claims that they'll tear the whole fucking farm apart looking for Ed Gein, he himself isn't particularly worried, vowing to Bobby's girlfriend that he'll protect her until the police leave. But he's quick to change his mind on that matter right after she introduces his face to a rock. He pulls his pistol on her, and just before he's about to blow her brains into next Tuesday, Deputy Bobby appears and tackles Ed to the ground.
Bobby! Bobby, don't do it! Don't lower yourself to his level!
Look, Bob. Just arrest him. There's no need to be the judge and jury right here.
It's not worth it, Bobby. He'll get a death sentence. Just arrest him.
No, he won't.
So, of course, Bobby doesn't shoot Ed, instead allowing the police to take him away while he goes to his girlfriend's side.
You leaving this on the ground was a good idea.
I didn't leave it behind.
I found it.
It's because we're meant to be together.
That's right. The real hero of this movie is the power of love.
Love. If it's strong enough to defeat Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, you don't want to fuck with it. So this movie ends with a bit of text explaining Ed Gein's final days as the camera fades to black. Hey, wait a second. Whatever happened to that teenage girl from the beginning? You know, she sort of ran away, but we don't really know what happened after that. Actually, you know what? Forget it. I want to know.
So that was Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield.
Why did they feel the need to change so much? I mean, the true story of Ed Gein is one of real frustration, mystery, horror, and some outrageous miscarriages of justice that would have made a truly inspired film. Instead, we get a completely ordinary hillbilly horror flick that, despite both the subject matter and its claim to be too terrifying for theaters, is not only not scary, it's not even really heavy on the gore factor. While the movie isn't terrible, mainly due to some surprisingly good acting from Kane Hodder, its refusal to use the true story of Gein just makes basing a movie on him feel so pointless.
And that's all we have time for today, so I'm Fedora, this is The Horror. Save a screen for me, we'll see you next time.